We really need to talk about Thanksgiving. There's prep, there's tablescape, there's mood boards, there's menu. There are a lot of details. And Thanksgiving is next week. I can't quite believe it. And well, what I meant to say is hello friends and welcome to this week's vlog. I think we should dedicate this week's vlog to Thanksgiving prep and meal planning and maybe whisper into Christmas. I read something yesterday that said, and it was Monday yesterday, that said there are only 5 more Mondays or 6 Mondays before Christmas, and my heart sank. So it's just so funny how the holiday season just tends to sneak up on you. So I just got back from a meeting. I have another meeting in just a little bit. And of course I've situated myself in nothing but chaos. The house is in really great shape. I am happy to report. Completely out of boxes, pretty much organized everywhere except for my office. And my office is sacrosanct to me. So it is my space, my area, and the fact that it has not been quite up to snuff has been getting under my skin quite a bit. So it's time to organize it. I think I had mentioned before, I know I mentioned before, that the issue with our master bedroom closet, because I have to share it with Mr. Lyons, though I love him deeply, it has really compromised where I put some of my things. So I've put all of my dresses, like party dresses, formal dresses, work dresses, casual dresses, here in my office because my closet is much larger than my closet ever was in my previous home office. So I'm just trying to make sense of it. So though I'm coming to you in this sort of lovely framed shot, this is the reality. Let's give it to you, other than the dogs. What? Yeah, we're gonna make, I have absolutely told myself that I'm not going to sleep this evening until this is all sorted out. I can't. Like I just mentioned, we are in the throes of the holiday season, but I mean that, I mean that in a way that I want to be in the throes of it joyfully and willingly, and to go into it this way for me, it's not for me. It's chaos. So if it's like this physically, I always say a busy, messy home is a chaotic mind, and I want nothing to do with it. So I am going to tackle this after my next meeting, which is shortly, and then we are going to deep dive into my Thanksgiving plans. We are hosting this year. We tend to host every year, at least every year since Mr. Lyons and I have been together. And I'm thinking of a new color scheme that I haven't done before for Thanksgiving, just embracing the new house and things like that. But I'm excited. As soon as I get this all sorted, we will be all systems go. So I'm going to share with you sort of a timeline and tips. And by the time you see this, it will be Thanksgiving week. It'll be Monday, but it won't be too late to implement any of these ideas if you're hosting, and I'll give you tips if you are a guest, and that can be fun as well. So I look forward to having you with me this week, and let's see. I'm going to try to do a 10-minute sort out before my next meeting, and then put a plan in action on how I'm going to sort the rest of this out. It looks like the main problem, I think I started to get a lot of my dresses organized from like more formal on this side, more casual on this side, and then I do color coded, because I mean, that just makes sense, right? It can't just be me. So I'm sorting all that out, and by length. I did a lot of that this morning, but the problem really is my handbags. And so they're all on the floor here. I just got back from Home Goods. I think I found a solution right in the middle of my closet here. Let me just switch you so you can see the good, the bad, and the ugly. There is the wall here, but it is one large closet. These aren't 2 separate closets. So in between there, I found sort of like a 2 or 3, it's in the hallway. I couldn't even fit it in my office because I have so much stuff in here right now. So I think I'll be able to stack my handbags that way. And I had a professional organizer come and do my master closet when we were in Winter Park. And so I have a lot of those elements and organizational pieces still with me. And so I'm going to use those on the racks and hope that it fits. It can't be any worse. It cannot be any worse than it is right now. So I'm gonna get cracking on that, and we will get started on Thanksgiving tips next. Quickly, I also did want to mention, last week I made mention that I had gotten a really special delivery of cookies from a local vendor here called Southern Home Bakery. And I mean, we've already devoured through the cookies, but I spoke about it last week and I never posted it. So I do want to showcase that here in this video, because also her bakery is open this week and you will still be able to order cookies, not just for Thanksgiving, but even the holiday season or in general. I really enjoyed them. You'll hear me gush all about it next, but I did want to make mention that the cookies are coming and it was such a fun delivery to receive. So wanted to share that with you also. Right, so I wanted to talk to you again about the cookies that I mentioned before, that beautiful home delivery I got from Southern Home Bakery. And I cannot, first, let me read you the sweetest note that they attached in the box. They had a courier come to my house, which was so darling and so gracious of them. And it says here, I love some good stationery. I love this. So it says, "Hi Lisa, thank you so much for your kindness and encouragement of my business on Instagram. I have admired you for years, so it's very special to share our cookies with you. We would be delighted to create custom cookies for you and hope to bake for you soon. With love, Catherine." Catherine Kramer is the owner of the bakery, and she's so darling. And you know, apart from the cookies that I saw online, and yes, Catherine, I need to put in an order for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, but apart from the beautiful cookies that I was seeing online and everything, she would get on and she would talk either in stories and everything. And I just have to tell all of you, any of you that support a business, you're entrepreneurs, have a brand, there's nothing like getting in front. I know it's a little unsettling. There's nothing like getting in front of a camera and just promoting your brand, but promoting it from the heart. And before, I would say first and foremost, above the cookies, and again, the cookies are beautiful, what I witnessed from Catherine was her heart. You could tell her heart and soul is in these cookies and every single batch that she bakes. And she comes from a long line of Southern cooks, so you know there's some buttery goodness in here. But let me show you what she did for me here. This is so sweet. I think she branded it for me and put an L on there. I love it. I don't know, what do influencers do? You hold something dark so that you can see it? I don't know, guys, I'm new at this, okay? Look at that beautiful L on there. It's so sweet. And then like these, you can tell this might be for a nice save the date idea. And it's got a date on there where you can promote that. And again, I will put her Instagram and her website below in the notes as well, because I can assure you, these are as delicious as they are pretty. And I've been giving away the L ones to my clients, and so they thought that it was a very special treat as well. But just look how beautifully packaged this is. The sticker on the back, the cellophane, just so pretty. So many different things. I'm already imagining so many different ways that we can display these for special occasions, like when I'm hostessing Thanksgiving this year. My goodness, we're gonna have to talk about that soon. Maybe on a nice silver tray or something like that, but I think those are incredibly special. All right, well, I cannot quite believe that this is the week of Thanksgiving. I just said a few days ago to someone that I can't even quite believe that we're in November. I feel like I have been on a personal blitz lately. I think since we got in the car in Michigan to come back to Orlando, it's just been in fifth gear 24/7. But I'm so happy to be feeling a lot more settled now. We are truly settled into our new home now, just doing some random projects here and there, but in and amongst all of it, we are hosting Thanksgiving, and this is something we love to do every single year. I think I mentioned Mr. Lyons and I love to entertain, and so when it comes to the holidays in particular, we really like to take it up a notch, and we put both of our skills, but we both love to cook, but Mr. Lyons truly has the culinary prowess, and of course I put my event planning skills to use and try to make it that much more special for our guests. But for you as the host or hostess, I want you to feel equally as confident and comfortable as well. Do you know, Billy, I believe is getting senile, and although I've left a door open for him, he doesn't seem quite to understand that, and he's barking to come in, so stand by. Okay, on another note, Mr. Lyons and I were literally having a conversation this morning about our sweet dogs. We feel like 3 out of 4 of them have all of a sudden progressed into old age rather quickly, and it's making us quite sad, a little blue. Okay, so let's get into what Thanksgiving week is going to look like. It's only Monday, so there is time, and we'll go over some things that I like to implement and that we like to implement here that hopefully will help you. I'll hopefully give you some ideas if you're a guest, what you can do as well. We'll get started here. So I pulled out already a few platters here that we use to entertain with. And what I like to do is get my handy sticky notes, and then I like to label them what is going in here, because when it comes time to it and everything is getting plated, it can be fast and furious. You're trying to entertain your guests, you're trying to mind the timing on your recipes and what you're cooking and making sure everything is cooked to perfection. So I like ahead of time to write, like this would be the turkey platter. So we just, we write it down on there. I'll do one for mashed potatoes, one for cranberry sauce, all of the fixings. Even if I have for appetizers, like I like to make a lovely, I do this during the holiday, a spiced nuts mix. I got it from a recipe from a hotel in New York. And I like to put the nuts in here, so I'll put nuts there, because even though I've done these things over and over again, you'd be surprised when you're in the moment. You really just need something black and white saying this goes here, this goes there. And then this way everything is organized and neatly prepped and ready to go for you. And then this way also, if someone is asking how they can help you, you can hand them, say, whatever dish you have the mashed potatoes in, and you can ask them very kindly if they could put them in the dish that you have labeled mashed potatoes. And oftentimes people are looking for ways to help in the kitchen, and this is a way that can maybe get them out of your kitchen and help as well. It's just a nice sort of collaborative gesture there. So I also like to always make my own salad dressing, so I've pulled this out too. Something I thrifted from Goodwill a long time ago, and it's perfect for every occasion. So that's that. Today I'm going to start labeling these things because it's never too early to do that, but there are some other things that we can do ahead of time to prep so that we can keep our heads level and organized. So we'll get into that next. So in addition to labeling all of my platters and dishes with which food items go in which, I'm going to head to my spice cabinet, make sure that I have everything that we need to prepare the recipes we are going to be making. I don't think we're making anything new this year. We're sticking to the script, keeping it easy. We're trying to be kind to ourselves, but nonetheless, we also just did a move. Even though we purged, I just want to check the expiration date on some of these spices. If we haven't used them since this time last year, they're likely expired, so I'll want to replenish that. I'm going to start making extra ice. So we also have a freezer in our garage, and I'm going to just start putting those in gallon-sized baggies and putting those aside. So that the ice maker continues to make ice and we don't run out. That is my pet peeve, as you are running low on ice during a party or entertaining someone, and then you either have to run to a convenience store or, God forbid, ask one of your guests to do it. I'm trying to avoid that at all costs, and honestly, I also don't even want to pay for ice. Why would I pay for ice when I can make it myself? So we are going to check our spice cabinet and make extra ice. What else are we gonna do? Okay, also this morning, Mr. Lyons and I started this as well. We started to make 3 separate shopping lists, because going to the supermarket and or like the big box places like a Costco or something like that can be overwhelming if you're trying to get every single thing at once. So we actually started this a few days ago, where we started buying sort of the things that we can keep on the shelf, meaning the pantry. So we purchased some bread. We like to do 3 different kinds of bread because we tear that up ourselves. My husband likes to make his own stuffing. He likes 3 different types of bread because he says it provides depth of flavor. I trust him. I guess his stuffing is very good. He's very kind to make 2 stuffings every single year. One is vegetarian for me. My oldest daughter is also vegetarian. My sister is also, she's plant-based. So that's something lovely for the 3 of us to enjoy. And then he's got his carnivore sort of stuffing in the wings, which is wildly popular. There's this thing called scrapple, I guess. Please let me know in the comments if this is something you're familiar with. I think it has something to do with where the region he's from, in the Maryland and DC area. He was actually up there over this past weekend and picked some up specifically for the Thanksgiving stuffing. So you're welcome to our guests who are getting that stuffing. Lovely. So we have sort of the pantry items, and in that list, of course, I'll include any spices that we may need and things like that. So there's kind of a big box store, our regular grocery store. We'll do that now to sort of avoid the big rush that will likely be happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. And this way we don't have our entire shopping list to do all at once, because inevitably you always forget something. I don't know why and how that is. Even with a list, you miss something. So we also, as we get closer, we'll get to more of our perishable items, of course. Naturally, we have our turkey at this point. And side note, this year we're only doing 1 turkey. And if you have been a guest at our Thanksgivings, you will know it doesn't matter how many guests we have. It doesn't matter if we have 6 guests, 12 guests, 22 guests. We've had variations of all of those. This is the first year that I've talked common sense, or maybe he's talked it into himself, into Mr. Lyons, and he's only making 1 turkey this year, especially since I just mentioned the 3 people out of that don't even eat turkey. Last year, we had 12 guests, and Mr. Lyons made 3 turkeys. 3 turkeys. One was brined, which I understand brined is best. Roast turkey. So the brined turkey was a roast turkey. And then there was a smoked turkey that he put in his smoker. And then he did a fried turkey. So yes, there was at least, I think it was something like 48 pounds of turkey for our 12 guests minus 3, 9. Those were some fun leftovers. Oh, we'll get into some leftover ideas too, hopefully soon. Okay. So then the other shopping list that we do is the perishable ones. And that is like, those would be our greens, our fresh greens, our fresh veg, things like that. Obviously we want those as fresh as possible. That's going to be the very last thing we purchase. I feel really comfortable with doing that on a Tuesday. Wednesday to me would just be absolute bedlam in the store. If I had to, I guess I would. But I feel very comfortable buying vegetables on a Tuesday, getting them all clean, prepped, and ready to go so that we can prepare those on Thursday. That's something that we would prepare on Thursday. But there are other items, food items that we can prepare ahead of time, just like our shopping list. Okay, here I don't mind telling you, I wrote this down because it was all really difficult to sort of remember all at once. But this is going to take you from Monday through sort of the big day. So on Monday, what we like to do, this is the day that you're going to defrost your turkey. Make sure you don't want to do that any later. It's fine to defrost now. It actually takes quite a bit of time. You may also want to check online for the weight of your turkey and how long that might take. So I don't know how much bigger yours may be than anyone else's, but make sure you give yourself the adequate time to start defrosting your turkey. But 9, 10 out of 10 times, doing it today, Monday, is perfect. And you can, at this point, you can make any cranberry sauce. So that keeps for a good 7 days. We like to do it fresh. One of our guests is a huge fan of Mr. Lyons' cranberry sauce, and that would be Johnny. And so we have already assured him that that is on the menu and making its way here. I mentioned already about the ice, so we want to make sure that you are making your ice if you haven't already. And let's see, Tuesday is the day that you can start making your gravy. That's good. You can also start making any creamy dips that you might want to offer before the dinner, any type of appetizers or anything like that. That will keep wonderfully in the refrigerator for the next 2 days. This is also when I will start making my salad dressings. I'll usually double, triple my salad dressings. Since they're fresh, my salad dressings are usually good for about 4 or 5 days. That's what I'm comfortable with, but I will probably triple the recipe based on our amount of guests and things like that. You can also make any sort of casseroles, like a sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, anything like that. Those are things you can do. It's just a lot like, what do they say with Italian gravy, which is sauce, how it's somehow better the next day. Imagine 2 days later, it really lets the flavors meld beautifully. And so I think making it on Tuesday is great. Heating it up on Thursday, good to go. I think you're really in for a tasty dish there. And then at this point too, on Tuesday, I'm starting to, because I will have gone and gotten my vegetables, I'm going to start washing those off, rinsing my greens, getting them ready. I have a salad spinner. You keep it in there. It keeps my greens nice and crisp and fresh. And then this way I can assemble the salad on Thursday, easy breezy. So on Wednesday, I think I just mentioned, brined is best. And so this is when you can start brining your turkey. Brining your turkey really ensures that it gets moist to the inside, all the way through to the bone. There have been many years, I'm sure, that I've cooked turkey before I stopped eating meat, that I'm sure the turkey was dry. And then my very last year that I made turkey myself, I was like, I'm going to try brining it. And I remember at the time we had a guest at our table at the time who was dating my oldest daughter at the time, and they got up from the table and literally embraced me and gave me a hug and a kiss and said that was the best turkey they ever had, and I'll never forget it. So brined is best, and I know that last year all the turkeys, everyone raved about the 3 turkeys Mr. Lyons made, but I think the brined was the overall winner. So that we can do on Wednesday is starting to do the brine. You can also start making your pies. As for me, that reminds me, I am placing my order with Morgan Hunter for a wonderful pecan pie because that happens to be my favorite. Wild that someone who does not like sweets at all, my favorite is pecan pie. And it has molasses in it. Don't ask me questions. I don't make the rules. I just love it. Plus, I am officially done with my detox diet, so I'm going to be embracing it in moderation, of course. And then you can cook and make your mashed potatoes as well on Wednesday. So that really gives Thursday for enjoying your rituals. And I don't know about you, but on Thursday, I love to do Thanksgiving, that is, that day of, I love to wake up and of course do our things. We wake up super early. We wake up between 5 and 5:30 and get some things in order. And then I am firmly planted on the couch at 9 o'clock to watch that Macy's parade. There is something about the Macy's Thanksgiving parade that I don't know. As soon as it starts and as soon as it finishes, I get tears in my eyes. It's just extremely nostalgic to me. I love it. To me, it just obviously kicks off not only Thanksgiving, but Christmas season, because you know who comes down at the end of the parade at the very end, and that is the one and only Santa Claus. And that also gives me the green light to decorate. So I love that ritual on Thanksgiving. And then of course we watch the Westminster Dog Show, and I pray every single year that the beagle wins, because beagles are the best. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is don't forget the music, right? So there's nothing worse than dead air in a house. When you entertain, you always want some sort of music playing at a reasonable volume, of course. And I found a couple of really great, let's get it here, playlists on Spotify, and I will share those in the show notes. And it's literally called a Thanksgiving playlist, dinner playlist, and I love it. I started listening to it, and it's just gives you all of those homey vibes, and it feels really great. There's another one that I really, really adore, and it's called Vintage Thanksgiving Playlist. Oh, and that one really, really gets me. So I have those queued up and ready to play on our Sonos speakers throughout the entire evening while we have guests here. And I'd love to know, there is like a grand debate, not debate, but you fall into one of 2 categories on Thanksgiving. You either eat Thanksgiving dinner at 2 o'clock, or you eat Thanksgiving dinner like a rational and normal human being between 5 and 6 p.m. or dinner time. Anyway, guess which one I am? So anyway, I have the playlists on cue, and also what I'm going to be doing today, again, is I'm going to start making room in my refrigerator, because have you ever been in that position where you are that day or the day before and you're like, where do I put everything? So we're really starting to eat and make recipes and make dinners and breakfast with everything we have in the refrigerator now, and trying not to buy anything new to bring into the house. Food-wise, that doesn't include Thanksgiving dinner because there's only so much room to have. So we are extremely excited to host in our new home. And I can't wait to show you. Oh, I'll share a mood board with you as well. I'm doing a different color scheme that I've done before. I was inspired by a friend of mine's wallpaper, which is beautiful. So I'm doing like an aubergine and purple, like an aubergine and a green, and a sage green. And I feel like sage green in general is quickly becoming my personality. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but in our kitchen remodel sort of meetings, the cabinets will be changed to a sage green. So it's really, really lovely. And I'm starting to, this is another story for another time, but I'm starting to brand the house. So I have some things that'll be sit over there by our inset bar that will have the house branded, and we're calling it the Harvard House. And those things are super fun to me. This is where I take in all of my event planning skills and exposure, and I put them to the greater good, which is to make Mr. Lyons absolutely crazy. Anyway, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to continue to get organized, and I will also share a checklist with you in the notes, a link where you can download them so that you can check these things off of your list as well. And I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. As I check my spices here, I did want to talk to those of you who may not be hosting Thanksgiving, and you have the great fortune of being a guest, and that is your happy place. And I know that you all likely know this already, but the proper thing to do would be to bring a hostess gift. There are a few things to keep in mind to make sure that your hostess gift is not only appreciated, any gift should be appreciated, but that it's well thought out, it's well curated, and it's meaningful. So a lot of things is, obviously, if you are a guest at someone's home and they are cooking you a wonderful meal for Thanksgiving, they clearly like to be in the kitchen. So I think a really great olive oil or a set of specialty vinegars are a really, really great hostess gift. This can be something that they can display on their kitchen island, or at the very least cook with it. And so I know that if I were to get something like an olive oil or specialty vinegar, that would go an extremely long way. Another hostess gift that I see often, which is really, really so lovely, is the gift of flowers. And I love flowers. I love flowers as much as anyone, maybe more so than others. But you have to bear in mind that whether I'm entertaining and having a dinner party for a major holiday, or even just a dinner party for 4, I've pretty much planned my table in terms of china, stemware, flatware, linens, and yes, flowers. So if you are coming with flowers, please know that these may not directly go on the table or something like that. And also, please be mindful and bring them in a vase or a vessel so that they can just be placed either on a counter or somewhere in the home as the evening is going on. But you have to understand, if your host or hostess is greeting you at the door and they may even still have an apron on, a whisk in one hand, and a timer letting them know that the turkey's done in another, having them go search through their inventory of vases and things like that in their home is probably not the most practical or thoughtful thing to do. So if you show up with them in a vase, that will be so much more appreciated, and they can just put it in a beautiful place, or you can do that, and that would be lovely. Another idea that I love, that I like to give, I love books of any kind, especially coffee table books or cookbooks. Again, if they're cooking, just like the olive oil, chances are they'll love a good cookbook. And also keep in mind the preferences or the sensibilities of your guests. So I love giving cookbooks as well, but some cookbooks that I've received that have been really, really special to me are, one is this Love and Lemon Every Day. They're very veggie friendly, so there's a lot of great vegetarian recipes in here that of course I can add, have my husband add chicken or meat or whatever he wants in here, and then we're basically both eating the same meal, different proteins. And so I have reference this cookbook more times than I can tell you. It's dog-eared in so many places. Probably there are some recipes that I'm making on Thursday that are in here. Likely our veggie side dishes, so that's one. And because myself and my family are from Puerto Rico, I love this one. Now this one is all in Spanish and it's old. And what I love is that they went, they must have found this in an antique store because this is quite old. And anyway, I love this one. We reference it. Believe it or not, my husband, so every Christmas, our Christmas is, and I can't wait to show you that soon. We have a very merry Puerto Rican Christmas, I like to joke. So he has taken all of my family recipes and really adopted them. And there was a time when, I mean, generation for generation, some of the recipes are just slipping through the cracks. They're either too labor intensive or something. Anyway, he is, and we would order some things from a lovely lady in the Bronx and then have them shipped to us here in Orlando. But we are so happy to say that Mr. Lyons, the all-American white guy, has adopted all of these recipes and he makes them so beautifully for us and we so appreciate it. So anyway, those are cookbooks that I really, really cherish and those were gifts. So I would encourage you to think of those three things. Those are easy to get. I think one of the top-rated olive oils that I saw is even being sold in Costco. So if you have a membership there, go ahead and check it out. So we will also have some Hostess gift ideas for you that we'll leave in the show notes, and that's good. But I'm going to get back to checking all of my spices. I've already done a good clear out and we're good to go, but look how, isn't that a thing of beauty? I mean, chaos is one thing, but when you move past the chaos and through it, life is so much better on the other side. What did you say? All right, friends, I have got to end this video at some point here because I feel like I have just been yammering your ear off about all things Thanksgiving and upcoming holidays. But you know what? It's that most special time of the year. And so I've absolutely loved speaking to you about it. I'm just folding some napkins for the big day. But for the earlier part of the day when we enjoy some hors d'oeuvres and appetizers and things like that, and some lunch for those who are coming a little bit earlier for that. For the actual dinner, I have rented linen. That's sort of a beautiful position that I'm in as an event planner. I do have access to these things, but I will say there are linen companies and rental companies in any city that do rent to the public. So if you are looking for a way to elevate your table this year and not necessarily want to go buy your own tablecloth and new napkins and new linen napkins, that is, charger plates, things like that, I would tell you to look into your city and see where you could rent to do those things. There are also local wholesale for flowers where you can go and go buy bulk flowers, and if you are so inclined, you can make arrangements. There happens to be one here in Orlando, and they actually have floral designers there too, and they'll be happy to make them for you. But again, I have access to some very talented, beautiful people, of which will be guests, and so my floral arrangements will be spoken for this week, and I am looking forward to that. But after I finish these round of napkins here, I need to head to Costco to get those sort of non-perishables that we spoke about, also because I'm going to start pre-planning and getting some things for Christmas, because they sell these beautiful big poinsettias there. Poinsettias? I know that's how it's spelled, but how is it pronounced? I say poinsettia, but I know that it's poinsettia. Discuss in the comments. Anyway, we also get our mums during the fall season there, and we always get such really beautiful compliments on our mums because they're just so big and bountiful, and the same goes true for poinsettias. Those red, beautiful Christmas plants. Anyway, so I think I will go ahead and pick those up while I'm there as well, and I'm just going to stage them on the side of the house. This way, as soon as our last guests turns their car on, I am swapping out those mums for poinsettias, and it is going to be full on Christmas in this house beginning the day after Thanksgiving. And speaking of which, because I did say that we would discuss some of Christmas in this video, I've heard a lot of chatter in the online space, at least in my algorithm, over the type of Christmas that one is aspiring to or trying to decorate for, and that I'm sure you have heard too. It's one of two actually. And one is, the main one is the Ralph Lauren Christmas. And while I am 1000% on board with that. I feel like I have been doing that for the last 2 years. And while I love it, this year we'll have three trees in this house, and one of which, well, all of which will be artificial. It's our first year without a real tree. It was getting to be too much with the dogs, but we did purchase it at the end of the season last year, so we got a really great deal on it, but we were in the other house, so I'm not quite sure where it's going to fit in the grand scheme of things here in this house. But I think I'm not doing that. One of the trees will be more of a Ralph Lauren style because I have that already, but this one is going to be a bit different, and I cannot wait to show you, and that will start likely revealing itself in the days and weeks to come, and I can't wait to share it all with you. But in the meantime, I wish you the happiest of Thanksgivings. I know that for me, I am so incredibly grateful, not only for my husband, my family, my children, my career, my clients, my friends. I am so thankful for you. I'm so thankful that you have taken the time out of your day to watch my silly little videos, because my silly little videos mean a whole lot to me, and I love sharing them with you. So happy Thanksgiving to you all, to you and yours. And in the meantime, I'll see you next week in next week's video. Bye-bye.